Okay. So how I approach any LSAT question is first, which I think different people disagree on this, but I'll always say read the stimulus first. So are you currently reading the stimulus first?
Yes.
All right, excellent. I think Brad teaches that, so that's good. And I'm going to go ahead and, for just an example, read one to you of how I would approach it on the actual test. So,
Oh,
when politicians resort to personal attacks, many editorialists criticize these attacks, but most voters pay them scant attention. So this is what I call sitting on a sentence, and I let my brain catch up, and I actually like translate this for myself so I make sure I know what's going on. So we're
okay.
saying when politicians use personal attacks, many editorialists or the media criticize these personal attacks, but what does most mean on the LSAT?
Most voters pay attention.
It's more than 50%.
Okay.
I'll ask that all the time, more than 50%. But more than 50% of voters pay them scant attention. So the media criticizes the politicians doing these personal attacks, but the voters really, like most voters, don't even pay attention to them. Everyone knows such attacks will end after Election Day, and politicians can be excused for mudslinging. This is an order test question, but mudslinging is just the same as personal attacks. This is a journalism.
That's what they do to confuse you.
Yeah, it is synonymous.
Okay.
Political commentators, however, cannot be. So this is where I say, like, cannot be what?
Attacked.
Cannot be attacked?
I mean, cannot be criticized.
Cannot be criticized?
However, cannot be. But, concern, political cannot be. Political, however, cannot be.
So what are we saying that the politicians can be? We're saying that the politicians can what?
The politicians can be like criticized.
Well, no, we're saying the
Oh,
politicians can
excuse.
be they can be excused for mudslinging, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whenever we say political commentators, however, cannot be, we're referring to they cannot be excused for mudslinging.
Okay.
And so when I read that, I'm very like this is like I'm engaging with it or I'm questioning it and I want to know why can the political commentators not be excused for mudslinging?
Okay.
Like I don't at this point we don't know, right? We have no support for that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But then we go on to say political commentators should be engaged in sustained and serious debate about ideas and policies. In such a context, personal attacks on opponents serve not to beat those opponents, but to cut off the debate. So here's where we answer my question about why they cannot be excused. They can't be excused because this is what they should be doing.
Okay, the commentators should be engaged in sustained and serious debate about ideas and policies.
Um, so our conclusion is what is the author trying to argue for? What is the author trying to convince us of? And so after I read a stimulus, I read the question stem and I see that it's a main point question. Before I read the answer choices, I actually find the main conclusion in my argument. So what sentence here would you highlight as your main conclusion?
Political commentators, however, cannot be.
Yeah, excellent, right there. So go ahead and try this question once more and tell me what your answer you would say now.
Or cannot be.
Yeah, B, because that is if we look through the eyes of the conclusion, that is the best paraphrase of what this sentence right here is representing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Political commentators should
No.
not resort to personal attacks on their opponent.
Yeah.
That is what this author is trying to argue for. Originally, you said D,
Yeah.
which is the purpose of serious debate about ideas and policies is to counteract the effect of personal attacks by politicians.
I was
That,
more concentrated on personal attacks and criticizing than.
yes, then what the argument actually is. No, totally fine. I just wanted to see where you were on main conclusions. Like many people miss the first question. because because people just do not do a great